That's Ed.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you for having us.
That means a lot to the players. So
Can you talk a little
bit?
they deserve it. Yeah, they deserve some recognition. So thank you for coming.
Ed, can you talk a little bit about the last 2 weeks and how you guys were able to just kind of finish what you had in mind?
I tell you, it went fast. That's all I know. It went real fast, and I guess that's a good sign. That means everybody was playing at a high level and we're getting along. It came together. You know, it didn't look like it was going to come together in some of those moments in April, but I give our seniors especially a lot of credit for hanging in there. They didn't want the season to end the way it kind of was going in the middle part of the year, and you know, it ended up being an unusual year, I'll be honest with you, but a remarkable finish. I've had no other team here go 4-0 in a conference tournament. I have some good teams here, and we got deep in the regionals. We're still not quite there, you know, to come through a regional, but we got there. I think we left a tremendous impression on the folks who had a chance to see us play out in California, and that's important too.
The kids said that there wasn't any one thing in particular that turned the team around towards the end of the season, maybe in late May. Can you think of anything that might have happened or something somebody might have said?
Well, you know, we just kind of, we dropped our expectations. We had a lot of expectations coming into the season, and we didn't perform very well with those expectations. Once it became apparent we weren't going to reach some of our goals, which is to win our conference regular season, we turned all of our attention to the conference tournament. We made sure we were healthy and ready to go. Once they got down there, they were just relaxing as could be. We had a tremendous practice the day before. Then we played well for those 4 games. We had a very good practice out in LA on Thursday, and I thought we played very well for those 4 games too. I can't really put a finger on it either, what exactly it was. Otherwise, I would make sure I wrote it down, and if we come across these situations again, I'd have it available to me. But that's where I give the players credit. They made a decision that they didn't want the season to end the way it was going. They still felt they had a chance to salvage something, and they did.
So what do you do then going into next year? Because obviously, the year before, regular season, tournament champions, billboards all around town. You talked about those expectations. You didn't meet them. So what do you need to do in the offseason so that you can carry this over?
Well, I know this much. We got to have a more productive fall. Our fall last year was a little bit low energy. We didn't get as much accomplished. I think there's a carryover into the regular season. So we got to find a way to get a little bit more accomplished in the fall. And I think we're better equipped to handle the expectations, having come through what we came through this year. I don't see us shrinking in front of those expectations like we might have done in the early part of this year. We want those expectations. That's the kind of program we want to have. So we welcome that, and we'll be better equipped to deal with it.
You know, having gone through that fall and the disappointment, I remember you talking about how that they just thought that they could turn it on and realize that. Is that a good thing, knowing that they've gone through it and seen what can happen if they don't have a productive fall?
Well, we're certainly going to bring it to their attention a lot next fall. We'll have a lot more ammunition for them to deal with. But you know, I preached to them a lot in the fall about complacency and coming off the season that we came off of. That's the most difficult thing sometimes athletes have to deal with, is they don't know how to deal with success, and they forget what got them there. And we forgot a little bit of that in the fall, in the early part of this spring season. I think we have a better understanding of what it takes now for Creighton baseball to be successful. I would be very surprised if the returning players don't come back in the fall hungry, anxious to continue what they finished this season.
So what are your expectations then for this team next year?
Well, we got to find a way to. We got to evaluate a couple things. You know, like I said, we got to be more productive in our fall. We got to look over what we're doing in our strength training situation. We got to be stronger so we can play through 56, 60 game season and be stronger. And then ultimately, we got to find a way to get through a regional. We've been to 2 in a row now. What are we missing? What do we have to get better at? Do we have to get better pitching depth so we can play 4 or 5 games in a short period of time to win a regional? That's our ultimate goal. The next step now for the program is to find a way to do that and get to a super regional.
What do you tell Ty? I mean, do you give him any advice? Or?
You know, we've talked a lot to Ty in the last 5 or 6 weeks. He's got a great family. He's a great kid. He's got to do what's best for him. We'd love to have him back, obviously. To have a Friday starter like that with all the experience that he has, returning would be outstanding. But, you know, we're not going to get in his way at all. This has been a lifelong dream of his. He's worked extremely hard. He's given everything he can to Creighton baseball and to this university. That being said, we're not going to push him out the door. We're going to paint some negativities about the pro game, but we want what's best for him, and he'll have a decision to be made here in the next several days. And if he wants my input, I'll give it to him. but we've had a lot of discussions about this. There's not much else to be said. It's interesting about the program now. When you get drafted, you're slotted money, so there's not this negotiating that goes on like there has been for years, where we wouldn't know until August 15th if Ty was coming or going. We'll know soon. He'll make a decision, and we'll move forward.
How much is that the changing of that timetable as a coach? I mean, as far as with recruits and everything.
That's huge. That's huge. I mean, it's nice to know if Ty decides to become a professional, that we'll know that shortly instead of August 10th or 11th. And we'll have an opportunity to sign another player to hopefully fill that slot, where it's pretty difficult to do that in the middle of August. It just gives us a better chance to prepare for the fall. So Major League Baseball has really helped their cause because they'll get more players in their system earlier, and then it helped the college game by giving us an opportunity to recruit another player in the summer.
We talk about his physical gifts on the mound, but all the guys that we talk to when talking about Ty talk about what a hard worker he is and how that much stands out. Is that what stands out for you?
Yeah, it will. When I remember Ty Blach, certainly I remember his development. He came to a couple of our camps as a high schooler, and we said, it's an interesting guy. He might be okay. And he turned out to be a little bit better than that, obviously. And then he came in as a freshman, kind of wide-eyed, and we ran him out there a couple times not knowing for sure what we were going to get. He missed a lot of bats, and he was very confident. And then he became our Sunday starter to where he became our Friday starter last year, and then we switched Jonas and him, and then he became our Friday guy this year. And it's neat to see as a coach, to see the development of these guys. But he is truly a hard worker, incredibly dedicated, conscientious guy, not only on the field but off the field, in the classroom. He's one of those special players that we've been fortunate enough to have here at Creighton University. I believe we'll have some more, but Ty will go down as one of the best players we've ever had. When we look at the total package, he definitely has it.
What does it mean to the program and recruiting to have a player from Creighton go that high in the draft?
Well, that's what young people want to know when they come. They all have this belief that they're going to be the next, high-profile major league player. And they want to know what your program can do to help develop that. So we've got a lot of these stories to share, whether it be Pat Vendetti, Ty Blach, Darren Ruff, whatever, of players that have come here as undrafted players and left as highly drafted players who are in a very good program. I can tell you this much: the pro people don't mind getting Creighton players because they know they're going to be structured, they're going to be organized, they're going to work hard, they're going to represent their organization the right way. And not every player they draft, they can say that about. So Ty, if he decides to go out, will be the next in a line of a long line of guys that went out and represented themselves at Creighton University in a positive fashion. What it does is open the door for the next person that comes through.